Look, let's get one thing straight. You're probably not going to like this video. This isn't about how to invest $100 into crypto and wake up in a Lamborghini. This is about why you'll probably never even get to sit in that Lamborghini. And it's not because of taxes, or a bad government, or because you don't work hard enough. It's because you are voluntarily participating in the biggest, most expensive scam in human history. Welcome to the flex economy. Look at yourself. No, seriously, look at what you're wearing, what's in your pocket, and the desk you're sitting at. We live in an era where looking rich has become more important than actually being rich. We spend money we don't have on things we don't need to impress people we don't even like. And do you know who loves that? Corporations. They've built trillion-dollar empires on your fear of looking poor. Let's start with the basics. Have you ever wondered why brands like Gucci or Louis Vuitton slap giant logos on the cheapest items in their collection? T-shirts, hats, belts? The answer is painfully simple. Real luxury is silent. It doesn't scream. Truly wealthy people buy $5,000 suits that don't have a single letter on them because they don't need to prove anything to the doorman. But corporations need to sell to you. And they know your weak spot. You want to buy an entry ticket to the high life, so they sell it to you. You drop $500 on a piece of cotton with a print that costs $3 to make. You're not buying clothes. You're buying a short-term illusion that you're no longer part of the average crowd. But the irony is, that very logo marks you as someone who doesn't have money but desperately wants it. It's a badge for the poor, worn with pride. But why are we like this? To understand the flex economy, we have to look at how your brain has been hijacked. You see, every time you buy something new, your brain releases a hit of dopamine. It's the same chemical reaction as a hit of cocaine. But dopamine isn't about pleasure, it's about anticipation. The high happens when you're walking to the register or clicking checkout on Amazon. The moment the item is yours, the high vanishes. You're left with a piece of plastic or fabric and a smaller bank account. To get that feeling back, you need to buy something else. It's a treadmill that never stops, and corporations are the ones controlling the speed. They've turned you into a biological machine that converts your labor into their profit in exchange for 15 minutes of feeling special. Let's look at your Instagram. It's a museum of fictional success. You've seen these people, right? Private jets, stacks of cash, Dubai hotels. Do you know what the fastest growing niche in the rental business is? It's not apartments. You can rent empty designer shopping bags. You can rent a bouquet of 100 roses for 15 minutes just to take a selfie. There are studios that look exactly like a private jet cabin, but they're sitting in a dusty hangar on the edge of town. People line up and pay real money to sit in a plane seat that will never take off, just for 10 photos. Why? So their exes, their classmates, and total strangers think, wow, they've made it. It's digital schizophrenia. You're creating a fictional persona that's living the dream, while the real you is eating instant noodles and wondering if you have enough gas money to get to work. We've turned our lives into a non-stop commercial, forgetting that behind the scenes, there's nothing but empty bank accounts and rising debt. We have become the actors, the directors, and the audience of our own misery. And this is where the most dangerous predators enter the game, banks and fintech apps. You've heard of buy now, pay later, right? Of course you have. It's an every second app. Installments, split pay, zero interest credit. It sounds like a lifeline, doesn't it? In reality, it's the most effective way to kill your financial future. It used to be that if you wanted an expensive pair of sneakers or the new iPhone, you had to save up. It was painful. You saw your cash disappearing. Your brain triggered an alarm. Today, that alarm has been deactivated. Marketers realize that if you break a payment into tiny pieces, the brain stops perceiving it as a loss. $5 a week feels like nothing. But when you have 10 of those installments, you suddenly realize that 80% of your paycheck is going toward paying for things that aren't even new anymore and are currently gathering dust in a corner. Let's talk about the history of this trap. In the 1,950 seconds, credit cards didn't really exist for the masses. If you didn't have the cash, you didn't get the item. This created a natural barrier to stupidity. But then, the financial industry realized they could monetize your impatience. They turned patience into a commodity. They said, "Why wait 5 months to be happy when you can be happy today for a small fee? That fee is your soul." By the time you've paid off that couch or that TV, the interest has made it 30% more expensive, and the item itself is already obsolete. You are literally paying extra to own trash. You're trapped in the new age rat race. You work harder at a job you hate to pay for things that were supposed to bring you happiness, but only brought you stress. You are the perfect modern slave. You aren't in chains. You're in designer gear, and you're paying for your own imprisonment. You can't quit, you can't take a risk and start a business, you can't even take a vacation because your installments don't wait. Your flexing has made you completely vulnerable and easy to control. The system loves a man in debt because a man in debt is a man who doesn't protest, he doesn't strike, he doesn't complain, he just works. Let's talk about old money. It's the biggest trend on TikTok right now, isn't it? Everyone wants to look like a dynastic heir. Beige sweaters, linen pants, country club aesthetics. But here's the catch. The whole trend is just another marketing trap. They're selling you the aesthetic of wealth so you keep spending. Real old money isn't about the sweater. It's about owning land, stocks, and companies. It's about capital passed down through generations. You can't buy old money status at Zara, but you can spend your last dime trying to mimic it, ending up even poorer than when you started. Do you see the absurdity? You're spending resources on mimicking what you aren't, instead of using those resources to actually become what you want to be. And let's look at the middle class trap. The middle class is the only group that feels the need to prove they aren't poor. The poor are struggling to survive. The truly rich are too busy making more money to care. But the middle class? They are obsessed with lifestyle creep. As soon as they get a 10% raise, they get a 15% more expensive car lease. They move into a slightly bigger apartment they can barely afford. They start eating at restaurants where the water costs $8. They are running on a treadmill that keeps getting faster, and they wonder why they never feel wealthy despite making a good salary. It's because they are buying liabilities and calling them success. Remember one simple thing. Wealth is what people don't see. It's your assets. It's your investments. It's the money in your account that gives you the right to say no to any boss in any system. Everything you show off your car on lease, your latest phone, your branded gear, those are liabilities. They are trash. They are anchors pulling you to the bottom. If you died tomorrow, your bank wouldn't care about your designer shoes. They'd just take your car and your house and sell them to the next poser in line. Corporations spend billions on psychological research to figure out how to make you feel inadequate without their products. They sell you solutions to problems they created. They built a cult of consumption where your value as a human is equal to your purchasing power. And you fall for it every single time. You run for the new phone model not because the old one is broken, but because you're afraid people will think you're a loser. You are being manipulated by people who are much smarter than you and have much more data than you. They know your insecurities better than your therapist does, and they use those insecurities to open your wallet. Newsflash. Most people don't care about you. They're too busy trying to look cool themselves to notice your flex. We're all participating in a collective lie. We're all lying to each other about our success, fueling this insane economy of posers. It's a theater where everyone is an actor and no one is watching the play. We are all shouting into a void, hoping that someone will look at us and validate our existence because we have a specific logo on our chest. So, what's the way out? You're not going to like it because it's boring. The way out is to stop being a consumer and start being an owner. Stop buying status, start buying freedom. Every time you reach for your card to buy some junk for likes or for the approval of your acquaintances, ask yourself, am I buying this because I actually need it or because I'm trying to hide my insecurity behind this logo? You need to understand the power of compound interest, but not the kind the bank gives you, the kind you give yourself. If you take that $500 you were going to spend on a designer belt and put it into a low-cost index fund in 30 years, that belt could have been $100,000. You aren't just spending $500 today, you are spending your future freedom. You are literally burning your 60-year-old self's retirement so you can look cool at a party for 3 hours tonight. Is that really worth it? If you want to truly break free, you're going to have to be the black sheep. You'll have to carry an old phone when everyone else has the new one. You'll have to drive a basic car when your friends are drowning in debt for a BMW. You'll have to endure their condescending looks. You'll have to be the boring friend who doesn't go to the 5-star dinner because you're saving for an asset. But in 5 or 10 years, when their houses of cards collapse under the weight of their debt, you'll be the only one with a real foundation under your feet. You'll be the one who can retire early, while they are still working to pay off a car that's already in a junkyard. Real success is when you don't need to prove you're successful. It's when your peace of mind and your freedom are more important than the opinion of a waiter in an expensive restaurant or your followers on social media. The flex economy depends on your thirst for approval. Stop feeding it, and you'll see how the world around you starts to change. You'll realize that the prestige you were chasing was just a cage. You'll realize that the people you were trying to impress are just as scared and insecure as you were. My name is Nick, and I'm not here to pat you on the back. I'm here to show you how this broken system works. You can keep playing by their rules and end up broke, trying to impress your neighbors. Or you can exit the game right now. You can choose to be wealthy instead of just looking wealthy. You can choose to own your time instead of owning a bunch of branded junk. The choice is yours. But remember, every time you buy something for status, a corporate executive somewhere laughs because he just bought another piece of your life. He's taking your hours, your stress, and your youth, and he's giving you a shiny trinket in return. It's the same trade colonizers used to make with indigenous tribes shiny beads for land. Today, it's shiny logos for your future. Don't be the person who trades their land for beads. Think about it. Stop being a prop in someone else's business. Become the main character of your own financial story. Stop chasing the aesthetic and start chasing the arithmetic. Numbers don't lie, but marketing does. Your bank account is the only true reflection of your financial health, not your Instagram feed. Turn off the noise, ignore the trends, and focus on the only thing that matters, your independence. And for starters, just turn off this video and go do something that actually increases your capital, not your ego. Go read a book on finance, go look at your expenses, or go find a way to add value to the world. Anything is better than scrolling through another hour of people pretending to be something they're not. Get out there and build something real. Goodbye.